The inevitable truth is that your life won't last forever. You think about the people you love deeply, and thinking about it might actually hurt. Have you ever wondered if you missed opportunities to show more love, give more love, or demonstrate more love? There are times in our life when we are reminded that there is nothing more important than love. Because the greatest single need and desire of humanity is love. To love is the greatest power, privilege, and freedom we possess. And every thought, word, and action motivated by love matters. Love is the highest expression of what it means to be human. What I'd like to offer you is the idea to not leave love left undone. There may be things you don't accomplish, attain, or achieve in this world, but don't let shrinking back from love be one of them. If you're fortunate, you discover that love is the only thing that really matters. Love heals everything, and love is all there is. That's why I've started a love wave, an intention to demonstrate the undeniable possibilities when we look at life through the lens of love. After all, as you look back at your life, I'm sure you'll agree that life was always about that. It was all about love. This show is intended to highlight those that are committed, like I am, to bring their experiences, insights, and wisdom to advance what we believe to be true. That love is still the answer. Welcome to Love Wave Live. Hello and welcome. I'm so freaking energized this morning. I'm just beside myself. I got up super early because this is a special show for me today. I guess all of them are. I say this probably every week. I'm just grateful. I just get to be here and provide a platform for like-minded, like-hearted individuals that I get to lock arm in arm with and do this work of love. And so as a part of my commitment of the pillars of the Love Wave, which is love yourself, love others, and love life, I am committed to bringing a diverse panel of speakers who will take the virtual stage here on Love Wave and just impart their wisdom, give us their insights, stories, and anecdotes, especially in a time like this. And so I want to share really quickly today's episode and why it's so special. So there was a book that I picked up, and my ex-wife actually introduced me to this author. His name is Jim Palmer, and there was a book, his first one, called Divine Nobodies. And I will tell you, this is one I could not put down. And the premise of this basically, actually in the back it says, what does a hip hop artist, a Waffle House waitress, a tire salesman, and a disabled girl have to do with discovering spiritual truths? And his stories just really opened up my heart to this idea and the difference between prominence and significance. So I am appreciative of those that take the big stage, who have huge followings, who have huge voices in both the personal growth and spiritual communities. And I have learned so much from them. And I've also found that there are some others who actually have a significant role in impacting just as those on stage do. And that's the difference between prominence and significance. And I would tell you, our guest today is our first divine nobody on the Love Waves virtual stage. And I knew it was the right thing. First, I honored my body and what spirit was telling me. But when I used the term with her, she goes, I love it. I love it. And so that's why it's just a joy for me to give her the voice, give her the mic to share what love is for her and how she embodies that every single day. So without further ado, I want to introduce Ewa Zender. Ewa came to the United States 21 years ago. She's lived in New York City, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, and now she is in her terms, she's stationed in Seattle, Washington. She's always been known that she's from somewhere else. From her early years, she's been an independent rebel, always going in an opposite direction than the majority of people, standing up for the truth and not conforming to authorities, which started really early in school. So from a young age, she started learning English knowing she was going to live in the United States. Now, Eva has always believed in the superiority of heart over mind, emotional intelligence over logic, and has always followed her heart. She firmly believes that everyone on earth is here for a purpose, and that it is not through our mental understanding that we're going to manifest that purpose, but by deep trust and surrender to our higher power, the presence that is never an absence, but rather is everywhere, in everyone, and everything. Eva has a deep conviction that as soon as we recognize that truth and simply let our purpose come through us, we become an open channel for limitless and never ending gifts of love, of peace, of joy, and abundance that we can and we must bestow upon everyone we meet without judgment. So, without further ado, here is Miss Eva. Eva!
Hi. Hi,
So,
everybody. I am
so,
so excited to be here with you today. Thank you so much. First of all, I wanted to thank you, Joe, for his amazing movement, Love Wave Life. And I am really, really honored to be a guest here. And again, it's my first time that I'm actually speaking live. So please bear with me if I get nervous. Thank
oh,
you.
nervous is beautiful. I want to correct you on one thing. You're not a guest, you're family.
Oh, that's so sweet.
You know?
And
So, yeah.
And I just wanted to say how, I and Joe met. So I actually flew to Phoenix for the Love Wave Live, last year. And it was for me very interesting experience. First of all, I did it on a whim. So again, I always listen to my heart and to my intuition. I just saw on somebody's Facebook, the post, and I just bought a ticket and went. And actually, I called out from work. I went, I arrived after midnight and I didn't have a hotel to stay. And a friend of a friend told me to call this person who I didn't know. And basically, I just slept in his room, went to the event, and the next day I returned home so that I can show up at work. So that was really amazing. But the event was so beautiful, and I knew right away that Joe is authentic. He's a real thing. He's not some kind of motivational speaker, but he is somebody who speaks from his heart, from the depth of his being. So thank you so much, Joe, for introducing me to your amazing movement.
Oh, that's so. Thank you. I received that, and I will never forget that. You came up to me actually in the lobby on break, and you introduced yourself, and you told me that story, and then you told me who your roommate, quote unquote, was, and I'm like, "Do you know him?" You're like, "No," and I was just so impressed that you just that's taking leaps in faith and just following your intuition. Every provision was met for you.
Yes, what is also very interesting in that story is that actually I found out from that person. I stayed with him in his room. I found out that he got a ticket from the person, on whose Facebook page I noticed the ad for Love Wave Life, Love Wave Life. So I was like totally amazed how the things work together. It was like the piece of the puzzle. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Now, you and I mean, you had heard me talk about divine nobodies. When you hear that term, what does that mean for you? And why did it hit you in that way where you were like, oh, I love that? What about that was
So I love that term because I feel like many people try to fit into something and some role in the society and wear those masks, titles, and I don't think that we need them. The fact that we are on this earth is the proof that we can actually be love and show love, share it with everybody, and just through being. Like, we don't have to have any titles, and your birth certificate is your pass to be love.
Okay, so you're setting it off, Eva. So I love it. I am gonna shut up. I'm gonna allow you to take the mic and the virtual stage and give us some Eva magic. I'll be back on afterwards, and well, we'll just have a cool conversation. So, everyone, this is Eva.
Thank you so much again. So first of all, I just wanted to tell you guys about my middle name, which is Majid. So Ewa Majid Zender. Why I got this name? I got this name in Mevlana in Konya when I went to visit Rumi's grave. I was really impacted by Rumi since I read his first poem. And actually, this is a poem that describes what really love is. So probably you know it, but here it is. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. So I was really moved by that. And I actually, joined Sufi order, and I went with them to Turkey for a pilgrimage. It was very, very amazing. But let me also tell you where I come from. As Joe said, I came here 21 years ago. I came here from Poland, and I was very fortunate to be born to my mom and my dad, especially my mom, who was really pure love. She's this amazing, amazing, magical, pure love angel. My dad, on the other hand, he was actually a very abusive person. He was, an alcoholic, but he also was a hard worker. However, he loved me dearly because my parents always wanted to have a girl, and I was the fourth child, and I was a girl. So I was that baby that they really wanted. But again, from my mom, pure love that I experienced, this is, I think, everything was born within me, knowing that, I can be whoever I am. She always was supporting me, telling me that I should be myself. I can be whoever I am. And my dad was, again, trying to always put some requirements, for love. So I could see the difference, and I knew that I didn't like it from very early age. I was a rebel, just like Joe said. And even the first day my mom took me to school, when she came back home afterwards, I was already at the door, and I said, I don't like it. I don't like the woman who was in charge. My mom had to go to school many times because, when I didn't agree with something, I would just, stand up and say, this is BS, and I would leave, or they would ask me to leave because I was asking very uncomfortable questions. And I wanted to share a really funny story. Hopefully you guys know what fly agaric is, which is this, poisonous mushroom. And we had to draw fly agarics. However, I didn't have a red pencil, so I didn't want to ask anybody for help, and I did draw my fly agaric with the blue pencil, blue cap. And of course, I had a great impact always on people. So everybody was asking me and telling me that this is wrong, and they said, why is it blue? And I said, well, blue is just much prettier than red. And literally, the majority of the class threw out their initial drawings, and they drew the blue mushrooms. And then, my mom had to come to school, of course, because the teacher could not convince children, to draw them the way they should have been. So again, I was always a rebel, especially in school and also in church. I did not agree. I was raised Catholic because Poland at the time was like 100% Catholic. And I never agreed to certain interpretations of the Bible they were talking about. And I always loved, one guy who is Jesus. I always think that Jesus is the dude. Because he was also a rebel, I think. But however, I was always, asking uncomfortable questions, and they kept throwing me out. So I don't even have a diploma from religion, from my Catholic school. I was also weird, regarded to be weird, because I looked at the world in a little different way. I will never forget when I came to the United States, and my first job, I was telling a person that something she shared with me. I said, "Oh my God, it's beautiful. It's so sad and beautiful." And she was like, "You are weird." And I was, "Thank you." So I always liked to be weird, actually, because I thought, it's a big compliment. But it's interesting that some people just, judge that something that is sad cannot be beautiful. So that was one of the, of my experiences. In terms of, love, I think that we should love everybody with no judgment and no expectations, and that love is all inclusive. And of course, we need to show appreciation and kindness to everybody. I have always thought that the question, why do you love me, was the weirdest question in the world. I mean, what do you mean, why? Love is innate, right? I mean, everybody is loved. Everybody is loved. Like, you don't need to do anything or behave a certain way to be loved. So that was very strange to me. So first of all, what I do in my daily life, I am always looking out to appreciate people wherever I go. And again, you don't have to be special. And I notice that many people in our society have that love, but it's kind of pretty type of love, that they love their families, their friends, and people who adhere to a certain standard, but they do not really pay attention, or they don't show their love to people who are different or have different views or look differently. So I had this amazing experience when I lived in New York, when my roommate and I had a conversation about, giving people money, people in the streets who are asking money. And, everybody is always wondering, should I give somebody $1 or not? What if they spend it on drugs? What if they spend it on alcohol? And I was kind of thinking about it, whether I should, donate or not. And I remember she was really amazing. She said to me, paraphrasing Gertrude Stein poem, she said, a gift is a gift is a gift. It's not up to you to decide what somebody's going to do with it. And this goes back to no judgment or no expectations, because we tend to want to change people, especially people who are unfortunate or they live or behave differently that we expect them or the society expects them to. But we don't know their story, and sometimes maybe that alcohol will actually help them in their evolution. Maybe it will lead to something. Maybe they will, hit the rock bottom at some point, and it will lead them actually to evolving and waking up. So I believe that it's not our right to change people or to help people, just because we think that we know what to do and it was better for somebody else. Another thing in terms of showing love is, for example, tipping waiters and waitresses. I had this experience in Los Angeles when I went to a restaurant, and I'm vegan, so there was literally nothing on the menu I could order. And I remember this young waiter came to me, and I ordered, I think, sauteed mushrooms. And of course, it was inexpensive, like appetizer, but I couldn't order anything. And he treated me really bad. I mean, he took the order. He was semi-nice. He brought me water, but he never asked if I needed anything else. He was just kind of focusing on the people, their families who were ordering the real dishes. And I was so pissed. I remember that I was so angry. And of course, me coming to that conclusion, I'm not going to give him a tip or a big tip. And then it hit me that this is my father's behavior, just deserving. You have to deserve, you have to do something. And I, to get the love or money or reward. So I decided to give him a very, very big tip. And I wrote, of course, on the receipt, I wrote, "Thank you so much for your service. I appreciate you." And I put like heart and put Eva. So I'm sure he was surprised that I left him a tip, but maybe it will, have him think, or I don't know what was happening in his life. So again, I was just judging from his, singular act towards me. But why not just give like we have more than we actually have? Another thing is, in terms of appreciation, is if you guys get on the public transportation, do you say hello? Do you say thank you? Every time I get on the bus, and it's usually the last door, especially now with COVID, I always say thank you. And then when I leave, I said, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day or have a wonderful weekend. And I know I'm not the only one, but I think it would be so amazing if these people were appreciated more. Also, I always say thank you to people who are, cleaning the trash cans here by my building or wherever I see people cleaning the streets. I always say, thank you so much for your work. I really appreciate it. Thank you. You make it so pretty. You make it so nice. And another group of people are the people cleaning the toilets in the airports or in the hotels. So another thing I wanted to say is, and actually this is, I think, how Joe returned to me, because I got this amazing postcard, love postcards from Love Wave Life. which says, live openly, value everyone. So it's love. L, live openly, value everyone. And I was giving those postcards to people, for example, leaving a tip in a hotel. I went with my wife to a hotel in New York City, and I wanted to give a tip, like $5 tip. I played a scratchy that day. I think I bought like $2-3 scratchies, and I won $100. And I got so excited because I wasn't in a good financial situation then, and it was really helpful for me to get this money. But then I'm like, oh, I should give a bigger tip. So I wanted to go and get change so that I could give the a person who's cleaning the room $20. But then I decided, no, I'm gonna just leave the $100, because I was thinking, I wonder how this person is gonna react when she gets this postcard saying thank you for your work, for cleaning the room. I really appreciate you, and having $100 bill. Basically, what I wanted to say is there is no separation. We look at us and other people that they are somebody else, but we are only one. We are part of one divine God or divinity or energy, however you want to call it, the universe. So we are all one. Can you imagine how you would feel if you were a person working in a hotel and you would get $100 tip? And usually those people, are not rich. So I think that was, just, I really loved doing that. Another thing is about, I want to talk is about homeless people. So very often we have some kind of expectations or judgments towards homeless people. And I think I don't really think as bad or avoid them as much as others. However, the other day, my wife brought home, a homeless person, a homeless girl, and she said to me, she needs a shower, and I'm gonna give her some clothes and something to eat. And I lost my voice. I didn't know what to say. I just said, okay. And then I caught myself thinking, wow, how easy it is for us to help people, like to take the food outside or to take our clothes outside and help them, but still keep the distance. But, just to have somebody to come to your home and take a shower. And this woman was so happy because Athena, my wife, was giving her, different types of clothes, and she was putting on different pieces together, and they were just having so much fun. And then Athena made her also a sandwich. And the woman left after we also had a conversation. So probably it was like an hour and a half. And she left much happier than she was before. So are we really open? Are we really helping those people? Are we seeing people in the streets? Are we really looking in people's eyes? And do we want to know their story, not just help them? Because sometimes I, again, feel like we want to impose our help on others. So let's not assume, let's just really embrace people the way they are. So what else I wanted to tell you? I wanted also to tell you that one of the things that is very important in my life, it's a big part of my life, is meditation. Anytime I have an issue or I don't know what to do, I go within. I go to silence, I sit, I meditate. And there is another technique, or actually ancient technique, called Ho'oponopono that I very often use. This is a Hawaiian technique that actually is working magic and miracles. Basically, if you have any type of problem, you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And you can say those phrases in any order you want. The way I do it is I say, I'm sorry because I have the feeling about somebody, right? And let's say I'm angry or something is happening, I don't like the feeling. So I say, I'm sorry because this feeling is coming from the memory. It's not me in the moment of love right now. It's something triggered in me. So I'm saying, I'm sorry. Then I'm saying, please forgive me. So forgive me, divinity, for doing this again. Please forgive me. Thank you. It's kind of giving my power and control to the divinity to erase it. So that's the moment of, erasing. And then I love you. It's reconnecting with the divinity again. And this thing is really, really unbelievable. I had a situation when my friend in New York was very judgmental and very, I should say that word, I don't like it, but very racist towards a server in a restaurant, and she was making all those comments. It really bugged me a lot, and I wanted to say something, but on the other hand, I didn't want to, cause trouble or a fight. So I let it go. And then every time I was thinking about her and the way she behaved, I was always saying in my mind, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, all the time, all the time. It took months. For some reason, we were disconnected. We were not, seeing each other or in the same group of friends anymore. And when I saw her after a few months, and again, every time that the thought of her came to me, I was doing cleaning or ho'oponopono. I was doing this, and when we met after a couple months, she was a totally different person. I couldn't believe it. I mean, literally my jaw hit the ground. It was a totally different person that I remembered. So it's our responsibility. Everything that is appearing in our reality is our responsibility because it appears in our reality. And the way to clean it is do it through those four phrases. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So what else did I want to share with you? I wanted to share with you, I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, I wanted to invite you to a challenge. So I wanted to give you guys 7 days challenge. It's an easy one. I want you to say good morning or good afternoon or good evening to every single person that you walk by in the street. It doesn't matter if you know them or you don't know them. And I know that at the beginning it's going to be very uncomfortable. So please do this for 7 days and see what happens within you and what happens with people around. Just really giving a smile, looking them in their eyes and saying good morning. And there will be probably majority of people at the beginning not saying anything. But with this little, good morning, this little act of love, of appreciation, of kindness, so much can change, for you and for people. And I really think it works miracles. Another thing is to say thank you. Again, if you get on the bus, say thank you to the driver and start noticing those people in the streets that we don't really pay attention to. So that is actually my challenge for you. And surrender. My other advice is to surrender instead of trying to control everything and fix everything. We have this type of thinking and programming from the world outside that we have to fix things on the outside. But actually, whatever is going on in the world right now, it's the effect of the cause from the inside. I mean, if you don't believe that we create the world from the inside out, look at, Star Wars and look at all those spaceships and see what we have right now going on, or our, artificial intelligence development. So we really do change things also from the inside out. So if you want to change the world, go within and be in that amazing, peaceful, loving, kind world within yourself. And don't push against anything. This is also so crazy for me. There are protests right now, and I understand, the movement. I understand the protests, but stand for something, not against something. Make sure that you pay attention to peace, to justice, to equality, not go against, I don't want to even say those things because it's energy, and energy creates the world. So the same in politics anywhere in the world, I don't even say, the name of the 45 because I don't want that energy to go there. So please just make sure that you focus always, all the time, only on the world you want to see, on the things you want to see and manifest in your life. Because this is the energy that creates the universes. So, no pushing against. And Martin Luther King was talking about it, Mother Teresa and Gandhi, everybody was talking about it. And I don't understand when there is so much anger and violence right now. We really don't need this. What we need to do is to go within and start loving ourselves and start loving everybody and also everything. Everything is alive. It doesn't matter if it's a tree, it's an animal, it's a rock, it's an inanimate object. Do you know that everything is alive? Somebody was thinking about it and gave it life. So that's what I wanted to say. Also, another thought just came to me in the past. I was wondering, is it what we want to create or the form? And I know it's going to be a little bit weird, but if you saw the word love written on the sidewalk with feces, how would you react? What would you feel? I mean, is it important that it's written with feces, or love is important? So just a little, funny thing at the end. So anyway, thank you again, everybody. I love you all. You have no idea how much I love you, but I love you all. I love Joe, and it's such an honor to be here and talking to you. So I hope that you got something interesting and you got to know me a little better. So if you have any questions or any comments, I'm happy to respond. And thank you.
Oh my gosh. So if you're home, come on now. Let's just give it up. Ewa, girl, you just like touch me at the deepest part of my heart. And there's a message I want to share with you. You might know this person. So anyhow. She said, "I'm so glad you made it. I can't stop crying. This is it. She's going to start doing this everywhere because of this. I always knew it just as she had. But she is so absolutely incredible. It's just so beautiful to hear her."
Thank you. Thank you.
There's a lot of other comments that are exhorting you, and rightly so. This has really shifted me. Ooh. Just, I'm in a group yesterday, and I shared, just from my heart, a very popular and well-known passage, the Marianne Williamson passage, that our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. And towards the end, there is like, as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. And when we are liberated from our own fears, our presence, not our titles, not our possessions, not our fancy words and our, the social media, highlight reel, none of those things, our presence automatically liberates others. And Ewa, I'm telling you, it's just a joy, because now, as you continue to be open to what the universe has for you and your message, you can always say, "Hey, I started on the Love Wave virtual stage."
Yes, I'm so happy. Perfect way.
Oh my gosh. So there's a lot of people on here who are sharing tears and joy, because I believe just your heart shows so vividly and immensely. And you are the true epitome of a divine nobody, which is probably the highest compliment a person can receive, in my mind.
I believe that. I totally believe that. One of the things that I recommend for everybody to watch is the Becoming Nobody movie about Ram Dass, where he is talking about, how long it took him actually to become nobody from being a professor at the university. And it's just, yeah.
Yeah, there was a few things that you shared I just wanted to press rewind on. And there's just so much. I mean, I always believe that the deep-rooted tree, like a big redwood, is love, right? And the branches of those things show up in kindness and courtesy, and just words of affirmation. I mean, there's so many different, and tough love even, and taking a stand and boundaries. Those are the branches of love. And you epitomize that in challenging us for 7 days to connect eye to eye. You're not wearing a mask over your eyes. You can still connect and say something. So it's those small acts that are huge, right? And that's what divine nobodies do, is they impart that love that is without condition. And you talked so much about no judgment. And, and the story about the $100 lottery.
Remember that?
I remember when you brought, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. And then you gave it with one of the Love Wave cards. And then Athena put in there, actually, it was San Francisco, not New York. So just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, you're right. It was San Francisco. Yeah.
But that is an example of the flow of currency, right? Non-attachment. It keeps that flow going. Provision, and you received it, and you were excited, and you gave it, and you were equally excited. What would the world be like if we operated in that type of economics? That it was about giving that you receive. It's a spiritual law. And it's not just about money. So you are once again the epitome of that, and you embody it so well. So how does one, though, like this idea of love with no judgment? Because like the waiter who like didn't acknowledge you, I see that where you're like, right, giving him and that tip. Not everybody would do that because they have to earn it. And you said you don't have to deserve it. Talk more a little bit about that, around, people who have struggles, in terms of that type of compassion and look beyond what's happening on the surface.
Well, the whole idea is, I actually think it's easy to do. And it comes with the mindset. So, I mean, if you keep saying, oh, it's hard, or you're trying, I always say there is no try. I mean, you either do it, or you don't do it. Because if you say I'm trying, you are setting up yourself for failure. So in terms of coming with the mindset that you don't know anybody, you don't know their story. I mean, maybe this person had a bad day. I mean, you don't know how much money he makes. He was expecting getting money, and there's somebody who's, ordering a $6 thing, so how much the tip can be on it. I think I gave him like 30, like I gave him multiple, times of that money. But you just need to realize, or I needed to realize, we are all one. So actually, that basically we are being programmed through our parents, our upbringing, the media. Everywhere we look, everybody is expecting something. Right. There is some kind of standard. You have to do this. You have to go to school. You have to have the title. You have to, I don't know, anything. And there's always, rewards for something. But this is a flawed premise. Everybody is worthy of millions. There is actually more abundance than we can ever imagine. Somebody, thinks that there is a pie and we have to share that pie. No, we make more pies, So knowing also that money is energy. Money is an illusion. And as you said, it has to be in the flow. And I'm not doing this for me to get it back, but I know I live in constant flow of abundance, prosperity, money, love. So it's just kind of realizing it, going within, and start doing it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let me see if there's any questions or comments here. Somebody who I think knows you. So Jesse Ann says, I'm cheering so loudly for you, Ewa.
Oh, and, thank you, Jesse.
You have a lot of fans here. So this idea of divine nobody, once again, you were talked about when you're on the bus and when you're out. I think that's where the action is, because we can sit behind a computer and, give loving things on our social media, but really love is a verb. It is action, right? How do you help people to get past those uncomfortable fears of stepping out of their zone of comfort when maybe there's a tug to go either help someone or address them or say hi? What would you tell them?
I just ask those people questions, like I start with, how are you? You mean not just talking to somebody, actual person on the bus?
Mm-hmm.
So just, talking to somebody, asking how are you doing, and starting a conversation with somebody. I started the conversation with a homeless person outside of the gas station the other day. And I actually noticed that I didn't know what to say, but I started the conversation and I asked this person, because I asked him, so how long you have been homeless? And he said many years. He said like 5 years. It was a young person. And he says, so I asked him, like, what do you do every day? And, he says, just hanging out and doing drugs, And I said, because I don't know that reality for myself, I don't know what it is. I just asked him why. And his answer was like, why not? I didn't really know what to say to that. But again, the person who came to our house to take a shower, She said that she is living outside in a tent. It's her choice because she doesn't want to subscribe to the so-called values of the society. And again, we are all being modern slaves, having to go to work, and it's crazy. Like, to pay a rent is like, 2/3 of your income. I mean, it's ridiculous. So anyway, I wish I could somehow reach out to those people to show them that they can actually go somewhere, do something with their life. But again, it has to come from them, to want to change. And this is a big thing for me to understand, that I don't need to change them. If they don't want it, it's their choice. So
Yeah, I think I talked about this on a previous show, but I had a very similar experience. I live in Arizona, in a community that is touted as one of the safest in the country. So when we see a homeless person, it's a shocker. And so I befriended a homeless guy in a cart, and long story short, I was like, I'm going to save the day for this guy, and my pompous attitude of giving. And so I looked at my wallet, I had some money, and I said, I'm going to help this guy. So I walked up to him, and his basket was meticulously organized. I'm like, oh, wow, that's impressive. And so I was very similar. He started to have a conversation with him. And I said, what do you need? And he said, no, I'm good. I don't need anything, which threw me off. I was like, what? And so this idea that I'm going to like rock his world and change him somehow, it was a cool way how the universe showed me that he's just a mirror. This is like, yeah. And then, so we had this cool conversation, and I walked away not giving him any money. And then I got in my car and I thought, no, I need to give him something. So I drove up to him and then handed him $20. And he grabbed it quickly, didn't say thank you or anything. And then I thought, wow, he didn't even say thank you. And it was right then and there. It's exactly. I said, what was my motive and intent here? So I'm waiting to pull out of the parking lot at Walgreens, and I just started to like feel it. I was like, oh my gosh, how pompous of me, thinking I'm going to go like be the light in his day. And he was for me. And I'm like, so divine nobody right there. Right.
But it is amazing how we expect something like it's like he should say thank you, like, right?
Yeah.
Expect that. But exactly, how would it be to live with no expectations and no judgments? That's a question. Can you imagine that?
I look for him all the time when I'm out. I'm like, I hope I come across him again. But it was just an angel for the day for me.
Yeah. So he actually helped you awake.
Are you kidding me? Absolutely. It's like I put that spiritual, like pompous, like I know it. And when you get to know what I know, that's just like we can all be all heavenly minded, but when we're of no earthly good, it's time to check ourselves.
One of my big passions and desires is actually to help people who are, I would say, with less advantages than we. I don't want to say, the word, but I just want them to know that there is a way, that they can change everything through going inside and through their heart, setting their heart and mind, that there is a way. I'm not saying I want to save somebody, but I feel like so many people don't know that there is a way. And I feel like, sometimes charities, we think, oh, I donated blankets. And of course they need blankets, they need homes, they need things like that. But it's still giving them a fish, not a rod to fish. Yeah. So hopefully somehow it will come through me, some kind of program or a way to connect with them deeply, and to reach out to those who do want to change their life, and who do want to contribute or build, some beautiful, purpose. So that's one of the things that I would love to do.
Eva, you just warm my heart. And you've also solidified something that has been coming. It's always been there, but it's coming through me even more. Is this like pull towards what the world calls misfits, and the black sheep, and the discarded, and the ones that don't fit in? They're nobodies. And I'm finding more and more, they're finding me. And it's a weird thing. As you were talking towards the end, I have this one app that my friend Tara told me about, and it's called I Am. And as you were talking very poignantly about this one story, it came in and it says, "Loving people easily find me."
Mm.
And so people have been reaching out. And there's this one gentleman who's in North Carolina, and and he started to follow me after I was in a men's like group,
Mhm.
and yeah, and so he's a beautiful writer, but I never saw his face, and I'm like, huh, he doesn't do any videos. So
Mhm.
I said, you know what? He reached out to me about let the Love Wave Live stage, and he's never spoken before. And I said, I don't know, him that well. So I said, yeah, let's meet. So we met, and he was super nervous. He was on his phone, almost shaking in North Carolina. And when he came on the screen, I noticed my own prejudice, which is prejudge,
Mm.
right, based upon looks and what he sounded like.
Mhm.
So I noticed that right away, but I was still present with him. And as he started to talk, I'm like, this man is brilliant. After he got
Mhm.
over the nerves, and I stopped him, we were on Zoom, and I said, Jacob, I see you and I feel you. And I made sure
Wow.
that I was eye contact. And it shifted. And then he even came out even more. And I was like, wow, his story was just incredible. And I'm thinking, I think that's what this is turning into.
Yes, this
Giving
is
up.
love wave life.
No,
It's
I mean,
coming
it's just
alive.
like, I keep talking about the prominence versus significance, right?
Mhm.
And, it's the significance, like, of allowing people a stage, to say, this is my life. This is how love has impacted me, and this is how I demonstrate it. Because really, my first stab at what is Love Wave all about, it was to teach, to impart, and to demonstrate the
Mhm.
undeniable possibilities when we look at life through the lens of love. And I can see how that's continued to develop. But I made a decision to start doing this show. I was a little down because I had to cancel my event in San Diego, and I was just
Mhm.
going through personal stuff. But I said, I just need to show up.
That's
I just need to
beautiful.
show up. And I don't care who watches. I don't care the numbers. Uh,
Yes.
by the way, there's more people who are watching this live than any of my other shows, so you're a hit. I'll have you back
Yes,
next
I
week.
relate.
I will tell you, it's just like this is another impartation, from someone who I hold in high esteem, and yeah, this has really been incredible. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna thank you for
Thank you
being
so
here.
much. I love how
Yeah,
real you are, how authentic, and emotional you are. I just love it. I can feel you, and you're beautiful. Thank you so much. And also, I actually forgot, I have a poem and
yeah.
actually, I wrote quite a few poems in the past. They are in my notes on Facebook if somebody wants to look at them and some other notes. But I actually wrote this poem, and since I identify myself as a misfit, because I really don't fit into regular, programmed society. I never cared for degree. I never cared for education. I mean, if somebody does, it's fine. But I kind of thought that, it's wisdom, not information, I'm seeking and knowing. And I just found the poem, just preparing for this recording today, for this meeting, that actually is called The Misfit, and it was from 2013. So if you don't mind, I just wanted to read this
Please
little.
do.
It's a short poem.
Yeah.
So yeah, so again, it's called Misfit. I lost interest in stories, oh world of human illusion, either vanity or self righteousness, both futile. Fiction upon fiction within fiction, judgments and intellect instead of wisdom,
Mm,
compassion based on religion, not a pure heart. People trying to fix their broken world from outside, a vicious circle. Open your heart and finally see. It's all perfect, blossoming, taking care of itself naturally. How can you doubt the perfection of the divine creation? Step within, be quiet, let go. it's done.
Mm. Hello. I was about to drop the mic right now, but I need it for it. Eva, can you please send that to me, or maybe I can put
I
that
will.
in. We'll post that. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for sharing. Okay, before we go, there's a couple questions. You probably already know this because I know that you're
Yeah,
a
I
big.
do. I've been watching.
So, yeah. So my first question, of course, is if you're given an opportunity, you've been gifted a billboard that will be seen by thousands of people in a metropolitan area, and you just have to come up with what the billboard says. What would your billboard say?
So unfortunately, my billboard is taken because my beautiful friend John Pogachar, who started the movement Love on Every Billboard, he has
Yeah,
that billboard that is just, red background and says love.
yeah.
However, what's interesting for me is the language. I always like languages. And in English language, love is both a noun and a verb. So
Mm,
you actually said it today, but my idea was actually saying, that love is an action word.
yeah.
So that's kind of like adding, or another thing I was thinking about, like having this big love in the middle and on top, just put be, think, give, and on the bottom with like also small but all stretched out, receive.
Mm.
Because again, many people they have a problem with receiving. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's awesome.
sometimes giving is easy, but receiving is people don't want to ask for help or anything, so that's
Oh,
definitely.
oh my God. Well, I'm about to expand the Love Wave apparel, and that's a T-shirt right
That's a
there.
t-shirt, right? Oh, I
That's a
had a
T-shirt.
better t-shirt for you. I think I told you already once about it, and you said that you're gonna buy it, so you better buy it. You make it, you buy it. So
Right.
after all this time, when we have so many spiritual teachers, all the things going on in the world, these days, and things have been, like repeating for centuries over and over again. Like the thing I was talking about today, the Jung idea that what you resist persists, that we go and we push against instead of stand for something, like it's physics. If you push against it, will push back. And it's like just, the fight, so let's forget the fight. So I kind of being tired of that push and pull going on. My T-shirt was, and you said you're gonna buy it. I remember you put it already. But my T-shirt was supposed to say, "Transcend that shit."
Ooh, yeah.
So that was the thing, transcend that shit. Like we have so much BS and so-called shit going on.
Right.
So just transcend it. It's time.
Beautiful. Well, Eva, thank you again for gracing us with your presence and your insight, wisdom, your experiences. It's so beautiful. For those who are watching, I want to make this announcement. Oh, are you hearing me echo? Anyhow, so if any of you who are watching either post show or live now, if you know of someone or if you are someone that identifies with that moniker of the divine nobody who has a voice, who has demonstrated embodied love in so many ways, please reach out to me via Messenger. And I'd love to have a conversation and give more this platform to those that are doing not doing the work, but they are the work. They embody it, and so I want to give a mic to them. I do, and Eva has kicked it off. So thank you again for being here.
Thank you. I definitely have a few people I will recommend. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not the best marketer and of things, but I do know that something's happening in terms of this Love Wave movement. So I would encourage you all to just follow Love Wave Live, whether on Facebook and Instagram. If you just look up, Love Wave Live, you will easily find us. And I'm just so excited. So thank you again, Eva. Thank you all for watching today, and let's continue to demonstrate that love is still the answer to every question that we experience in life today. So thank you all for watching. Take care. Love you
Absolutely.
all.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you so much.